Hey everyone, welcome to yoga class. Welcome to Slow Flow Sunday in Finding Clarity with Leah. I want to kind of take a moment before we start and remind everyone how important it is to be really tuned into your own body when you're doing online workouts and classes, whether it's yoga on YouTube. Hey, Stephanie, hop on your mat, girl. Let's do this. Whether you're doing yoga from YouTube or on a Facebook Live, or whether you're doing some kind of, other type of workout like weight training or anything where you're not working directly with a trainer that can see you, it becomes increasingly more important to listen to your body. You know, even in class, a lot of times people tend to stop listening to their body and try to push themselves a little bit farther than they should be, and end up feeling sore or, like they might have pulled something or tightened something that shouldn't have been tightened or whatever the next day. So that kind of thing can happen. And if that happens to you, Epsom salts is a great relief for any discomfort that you may have after doing a class. And so let's just get started. Hop on your mat, stand up, and we are going to breathe. So soften into your body for a second. Just give it some wiggles. We're going to do a little bit more of this in just a second, but just for a moment here. And then take some breaths. Deep inhale through the nose. Deep exhale also through the nose. Inhale. And exhale. You can let these be full body. I don't know if you can tell, but my whole body is moving. And now we're going to set a little bit of an intention here for our practice today. We really want to make sure that we're working on being present. But it's also time to think about really letting go of all that junk. I know for me personally, I've had a couple nights worth of the what ifs. I don't know if you remember that old Shel Silverstein poem called The What Ifs. And he talks about now when I lay down ready for bed, the what ifs crawl inside my head and whisper to me all night long, singing their what if song. I'm getting it wrong, but I made it rhyme. But it's something like that. And basically it's just the worries that happen. And it's happening to me. I'm sure it's happening to you, and that's normal, but this is our opportunity to really let go of that. So as you are breathing in your standing posture here, setting that intention to be willing to let go of all the what ifs, all the worry, the things that are causing you stress at this moment do not matter. It's right here. It's right now. You're on your mat. You're feeling good, and you're ready to let go. So take a couple breaths with that intention in mind, plus whatever else happens to come through for you. And now let's bounce. Come up onto the balls of your feet and give it a little bounce. Just a little rebounding. Get the lymphatic system flowing. Get a little bit off center. And then take your feet a little bit wider and go from side to side. Bouncy, bouncy. Shake it off, right? We were in my nooner a couple weeks ago, or a week and a half ago or so. We did a lot of shaking. And now we're going to spin, but just kind of twist. Let your arms be loose here. I'm not moving my arms. It's called centrifugal force. And then my feet are just kind of shifting. The opposite heel comes up and turns, knee turns in from the opposite side that I'm facing. But you don't have to do it exactly this way. Just twist and flow. Let your arms feel that energy. Let your spine start to loosen up. Letting go like you're wringing out all the worries. And then coming back to center, slowing down, letting it kind of sway. And then finding a place where your feet will pause underneath you. Close your eyes if you can. If not, just look down. And feel that energy flow through your body. This is what it feels like to be alive. This is life force. You can feel it in your hands and your feet. Notice how your breath is moving. All right, now I'm going to turn sideways. You do not have to, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. My feet are still about hip distance apart. If you need to go a little bit wider, that's okay, but don't go wider than your shoulders. We're going to inhale, arms come straight up in front, up to about the ears. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, soften the knees, and forward fold about halfway down. Inhale, press down through the heels to rise all the way back up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Let the belly come in as you fold all the way down. Inhale, press out through the heels. Come all the way back up. And your all the way down may not look like mine. Exhale, back to halfway. Inhaling up. Exhale to all the way. And your all the way may look a lot like halfway, but bring your hands down. And then inhale to come all the way up. Keep going. Exhale to halfway. Inhale, press those heels down. Exhale to all the way. Inhale, reach forward before you scoop up. Exhale, halfway. This is our last time. Inhale up, and then we're going to go all the way and hold it. Exhale all the way down. And hold here. Now your here may look like this. It may look like this. Just be where you are at. If you happen to have a block at home and you want to use a block, that's a nice way to kind of rest your hands. Also, if you don't have a block, you can use a big couch cushion, or you could lean onto the back of a chair. You know, there's a lot of advantages to working at home on these things. When we don't have the benefits of the studio props, we can get real creative about what we have at home. So you may want to take a little movement here. We're going to do some hip openers today. So maybe pedal out the knees. Let your hips shift from side to side. I find that a lot of us carry our worries in our pelvis. Go ahead and straighten both legs, or not. If they're a little bent, that's okay too. Inhale. Exhale, soften the knees. Inhale, sweep your hands forward. Press out through the heels. And exhale, float the hands down. And we'll pause here. Notice how that feels. Woo! It is going to be so hot in this room in the summertime. Let's take our legs a little bit wider. This time we're going for shoulder distance or farther, if that's comfortable for you. Soften your knees. Inhale, arms come straight up. As you exhale, we're going to go around to the side and then down. Inhale, back up the other way. Now go the other direction. Exhale, down to the side. Inhale, back up the other way. We're just going to go back and forth here. Exhale around. Inhale up. Exhale around. Inhale up. Think about it like you have a bubble of protection around you, keeping you safe. And you're just sweeping it out. Just like a little broom. Your arms are brooms. You're sweeping out your bubble. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale halfway down. Forward fold. Knees are soft. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down. Forward fold. Inhale. Reach those arms out to come up. Exhale halfway. Inhale up. Exhale all the way. Inhale, reach to come up. One more round, halfway. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale up. If you're just hopping on, just join in. Just start up wherever we're at. Now we're going to go ahead and keep our legs wide for our pause. And if you're new to slow flow, we do pauses between our flows as a way to tune into our bodies. So if you can, close your eyes. If not, just look down, reduce the visual cortex, and start to feel your hands. Start to feel your feet. And maybe notice how your head feels from all that up and down action. Maybe you can feel your heart rate starting to increase. Just notice how you feel. I have to say how your nervous system feels, but that can be a little confusing. I mean, how does it feel right now after that movement in your body? We're going to step our feet back together. Go ahead and give them a little, whatever, shimmy shake. And now we're going to step one foot in front of the other, but not directly in front of the other. So I want you to think about how your hips are squared up right now. Feet are facing forward, and just step your feet apart. So we're not going in line here. We're not walking a tightrope. We're staying on a train track. Yeah? And then take that back foot and crank that foot out just a smidgen. We're going to do both sides. So I don't care which foot you step in front first. And I'm going to turn sideways just for fun to start this first round. So as we inhale, first of all, notice how far apart your feet are. Make sure that your pubic bone is pulling up towards your navel and your tailbone is reaching long, and lengthen out through the spine. So the bottom of your rib cage kind of pulls down a little bit here. We're not extending, is what I'm trying to say. Pull down here. Okay? Now from here, we're going to inhale, soften the front knee, and float the arms straight up. Exhale, straighten the leg, float the arms back down. This is our warrior one pose. Inhale. Back leg stays straight. Exhale. And your spine shouldn't move too much. You might come into a little bit of extension. Inhale and exhale. Last one, we're going to inhale and we're going to stay here. Exhale. Inhale here. This time as you exhale, you're going to straighten the front leg and come halfway down. Hinge at the hips. Inhale, come back up. Soften the front leg back to warrior one. Exhale all the way down. And again, your all the way down may not look like my all the way down. Inhale, reach the arms out. Soften the front knee and come back up to warrior one. Does this feel familiar yet? Halfway. Exhale. Inhale back up. Exhale all the way. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale halfway. Inhale up. Last one. Exhale all the way down. And we're just going to hold here for a couple breaths and stretch. Again, using a block. How did you get all the way over there? Did I kick my block that far? Really? Why would I ever do such a horrible thing? So you may need a block here. And if you don't have one, you can use your knee or your shin. Be gentle with yourself. Just a couple breaths. One more. On your next inhale, soften the front knee. Reach. And exhale, step it together. Taking a pause here to notice how your body feels. Really tuning into the difference from one side to the other. So whichever leg you had in front, notice how that leg feels. Maybe through the hamstring and the quad. And then the leg that was in back, noticing how the hip flexor feels, that front part, the front of the hip joint. And the glutes, maybe even the calf muscle. Notice how your shoulders and your back feel. Now let's step the other leg. Again, staying on our train track, the back foot angles out just slightly. Making sure that we're in our alignment. Rib cage is closed. Inhale, float the arms up. Soften the front knee. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. It's okay if you're moving at a little bit different rate than me. This is slow flow, so please don't go much faster. Exhale down. Inhale up. And we'll stop here. Exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten that front leg and come halfway down. Inhale up. Bend the front knee. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, reach. Bend the front knee. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale up. Exhale halfway down. This is our last round. Inhale up. And exhale all the way down. Again, grabbing a block if you need one, or just keeping your hands on your shin or your knee. Just a couple breaths here. Soften the front knee. Your next inhale reaches forward. And exhale, step together. Just noticing how that feels. Noticing hopefully you feel kind of evened out. Again, the front leg, notice the quad and the hamstring. The back leg, notice that hip flexor, the glutes. And now we're going to step our legs apart. We're going to do a basic forward fold again. We're not going to go halfway. Just inhale, arms come up. Exhale all the way down. If you're just jumping in the live stream, just hop on your mat. Get started from where we're at. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, reach and come up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, reach and come up. Arms float down. Notice how the body feels. Now we're going to take one foot and turn it to face out. Now your feet are lined up, and your hips stay nice and open. So the whole top half is facing forward while one leg is facing out to the side. Just notice how that feels for a second. Now we're going to float our arms out. We're going to keep our legs straight. Inhale here. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Bring that front arm down to the knee on the same side where the toes pointed out. Move my block there. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. And now we're going to hold. Exhale over. And just pause here. As you exhale, belly draws in. And as you inhale, reach your hands apart. You can keep your face straight forward, or you can look down. If you're really feeling it, you can look up at your top hand. I'm not feeling that today. That's okay. Inhale, reach. Exhale. On your next inhale, all the way back up. Float your arms down. Turn your toes back to center. Very good. Noticing how that feels for your body. So noticing the side bodies, noticing the shoulders, maybe the hips a little bit. And then we'll take it the other way, the other side. Making sure you're nice and open. Legs stay straight. Arms come out. Inhale here. Exhale over. Just to the knee. Listen, if you're a super flexi yogi, inhale up. And you can get your hand all the way down. Good on you. But I invite you to keep it back nice and gentle. Exhale over. Nice and low, I can't think of the right word here. Inhale up. Because it's gentle, it can be gentle all the way down. Just scaled back. Just to the knee. See how that feels for you. See if that feels different. It offers a different kind of challenge. When you're used to pushing yourself to go all the way down to the floor, even if you don't feel like you have to push yourself all that hard, you may have to push yourself to scale back and see how that feels for you. And we're just breathing in our posture. Inhaling, lengthening out through the arms. Exhale, belly firms. On your next inhale, floating all the way back up. Exhale, hands come down, toes point forward, and pause. Again, side bodies, shoulders, hips, check in with your feelings. How does it feel? On your next inhale, arms float out wide. Exhale, hinge at the hips, arms float all the way down. Inhale, float arms out to the side, all the way back up. You can kiss your palms. Exhale, all the way down. Maybe cross the wrist. Inhale, lengthen out through the spine to come all the way up. Kiss the palms, last one. And exhale, all the way down. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down. Step your feet together for your pause. Notice how that feels in the hips. Notice how that feels in the adductors. After your legs have been wide for a while, you've been doing some work, you're going to see how that feels. Okay, now we're going to come down to the floor and we're going to get on our knees. And this is where I like to suggest a folded blanket under your knees. It just can provide some extra cushion, okay? We can call this kind of like a mini mountain. So your quads are going to have to be turned on here to keep this little pelvic pull up of the pubic bone. Tailbone reaches long. Glutes have to be turned on. So we're not here. Yeah, we're really pulling in that front line. Just taking a moment here. Tops of the feet are flat on the floor behind you. Bouncy shoulders. Wiggle your fingers. Now we're going to bring one knee up. So shift your weight over, one knee up. Yeah. Foot flat, making that right angle. And go ahead and place both hands on your knee. From here, we're going to inhale, press the hips forward, lift the chest. Head doesn't move. Exhale back. It's very small. Inhale, press your hips forward, lift your chest. Exhale back. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Last one. Opening the chest and the hip flexor. Exhale back. Shift your weight. Bring the knee back down. And you can sit. We're going to pause here. If this is terribly uncomfortable on your knees, don't stay here. Sit in a regular seated position. We won't be here long, just for a couple breaths. Noticing how the body feels. Noticing the hips, one versus the other. Return to mini mountain. Setting yourself up with good alignment. And then shift your weight, bringing the other foot out. Hands on the knee, nice and tall. Inhale, hips move slightly forward, chest lifts. Exhale back. Inhale. And exhale. If you're wobbly here, that's good. Fight for it. Exhale back down. Inhale, open through the chest and the hip flexor. Exhale, pull the rib cage and the pubic bone together. Last one. And exhale. Very nice. Bringing that top knee down. And this time we're going to pop a child's pose. So bringing your hips down first. Reach your arms out. Forehead comes down. Option here to open the knees. This can feel really nice. My big toes are touching and my knees are wide. If that does not work for you, that's okay. And if Child's pose is incredibly uncomfortable. There's a lot of things you can do here to prop yourself. So if your knees don't fold like this, you can place folded blankets up on top of your calves to have something to kind of cushion on. Or you can also grab your couch cushion and place it up underneath your belly and lay on that. So there's options. While we're in our child's pose, just soften into your breath and notice your hips. How do they feel? If you don't have your knees wide, I invite you to try that and just kind of shift your hips from side to side. In whatever child's pose is working for you, try the knees apart. Okay, so we are going to take this into a hip stretch. And we're just going to warm up a little bit here with some gentle sways. On an inhale, come up to seated position. No, let's do this first. Up to all fours. I'm going to keep my folded blanket under my knees. Inhale here. Exhale, gather your belly. Feel your navel rise up towards your spine, pubic bone pulling towards your navel to find that nice long line on your back. Your tailbone's reaching long, the crown of the head is reaching away. And hold your pelvis here. As you inhale, lift your head, lift your chest. You might rock forward just a little bit. Pelvis does not move. Exhale, slide those hips back over the heels. Elbows can lower, forehead lowers. Inhale, rise back up. Pelvis doesn't move as you lift your head, lift your chest. Exhale, slide back. Elbows lower, forehead down. Inhale up. Exhale back. Last one. And exhale down. Short pause. Noticing the breath here. Noticing the spine. And then sitting up on an inhale. Now we'll come to our seated position. And I do recommend sitting on a folded blanket or two. Have cushions available or blocks. I'll go ahead and get, don't know why I kicked that all the way over there. Okay. Also, this is a good time to hydrate. Of course, I'm chatty Cathy over here, so I may need it more than you do. Okay, so sitting up on a blanket can feel very helpful if you're tight in your hips and you want like this and you feel all like rounded down like this. So putting a blanket up underneath your hips will elevate them slightly. We are going to start with a butterfly, so bringing the bottoms of your feet together. If you find yourself here, take your feet farther away and get some blocks or cushions or folded up towels or whatever you have available and put them up underneath your thighs so that you have something to rest on so you can focus on sitting up nice and tall. Yeah? So that's what we're focused on here. Nice and tall, lengthening, belly's pulled in, crown of the head is lifted, not the face. Maybe you don't need props, and that's okay too. Just wherever you're at. We're going to just sit here for a few breaths. Think about lengthening your spine on your inhales. Exhale, belly draws in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, belly draws in. Feeling the air in the back of your throat. One more breath. And then I want you to reach behind you using your hands, lift up your hips just slightly and push them forward a little bit. Staying on your blanket. Keep reaching back with your hands, opening your chest a little bit, and just see where your legs go. You may have to move your props. Just noticing how that feels. Let your feet fall open. If you need to change where your feet are, change. Maybe you need to take them farther apart. Maybe you need to bring them closer in. Just notice we're leaning on our hands. Let me turn sideways. Show you what we did there. So we're here, lift up, press forward. Okay? Couple breaths. One more. And then relax, finding a comfortable seated position. Go ahead and take your feet apart, away from your body. Sit up nice and tall, whatever works, nice and comfortable. Just take a moment. It's okay if you're sitting in a not perfect posture while we just take a breath. And just notice how that feels. Okay, now bring your knees up. Feet are flat, more than hips distance apart, and we're going to reach back again, just like we did. And whatever works for you. You don't have to have your fingers facing in or facing out. It doesn't matter. You're just, as long as you're being supported. And we're going to windshield wiper our hips. Side to side here. Yeah? And yours may not go down as far as mine, and that's okay. So one side I can go farther than the other. Just noticing what your body does. We are working with the hips today. Kind of a lot. Just feel like as the fulcrum point of the body, that's a place where a lot of tension gets built up. My hips keep moving forward, so I keep scooting back onto my cushion again, just noticing. And now we're turning to a gentle butterfly, whatever that looks like for you. Whether you're propped, or your feet are just far away or pulled in, taking a pause and tuning into those hip joints. Close your eyes and imagine the juices flowing, filling up all the fibers, all the connective tissue with all that it needs. Now, from right here in our butterfly posture, and with the block, why do I keep doing that? We're going to take one foot and bring it out to the side and tuck it around. Now, this is going to maybe look a lot easier than it is for you to actually do at home. So feel free to shift your weight over and then slide that leg back. And you don't have to take it all the way back. Okay, this is a good place to stick a prop up underneath the front leg. And you may not be able to get your hip all the way down in the back. That's okay. Working towards getting this foot out to a 90-degree angle so the knee comes out from the hip. I'm not there. That's okay. And from here, we're going to forward fold, but just soften into this posture. Feel the opening in that back leg here. And then gently walk your hands forward. And maybe not. Maybe you don't go forward very far. That's okay too. Noticing what your body is telling you. I don't have you right in front of me, so I can't be perceptive and tell you when you need to move. So be aware of what's going on for you. So if it's starting to feel like numbness in the front foot, you need to back off. If it's starting to feel like something needs to pop and it's not, you need to back off. Like, let's really pay attention to what's going on with the hips, okay? Maybe you feel like you need a little sway. No, this isn't like hold this posture perfectly still and stop. If you feel like you need to move a little bit through this, move a little bit through this. We are intending all of the what ifs out of our body today, and they will fall right out through the bottoms of your feet from your hip if you move them out. On your next inhale, coming all the way back up, leaning over that front leg to gently bring the back leg around, finding your butterfly again, taking a little pause here to notice how that feels for your hips. Notice how they feel different from each other. Notice your low back. If this is starting to get really painful on your low back, you might want to take your pauses on your back, laying on your back with your knees bent. And that's if you have severe lumbar issues or sacroiliac joint issues, things like that. Now we're going to switch sides, leaning over, being very gentle with yourself, bringing that knee around, and then finding the seated position. Again, maybe you need a prop. Noticing how this side feels different. Maybe it's easier, maybe it's harder. Just take a moment, notice what's happening in your body. And then gently starting to walk the hands forward. And maybe not. Maybe that's good. And you just stop here and call it a day. Maybe you can go a little further. Be where you're at. Notice what's happening in your body each step of the way. Notice that feeling if you need to sway or make little circles. Almost like you're listening to your hips. Yeah, they're asking to be opened and to be released from all of this tension. And what do they need right now? On your next inhale, rising up. And gently leaning over that front leg, bringing the other foot around, finding your butterfly. Maybe take it really gentle. Bring those feet way out and sway just to get centered. Find a moment of stillness to check in. And then we're going to bring the knees together for just a moment. Take your feet out. And we're single legging forward fold here. So bringing one leg in, put the foot up against the knee or right above it into your thigh muscle if you can get there. And we're not opening our hips up. That's something else. We're keeping our hips forward. Inhale here. Place your hands on your thighs. Exhale, slide your hands down your leg. Soften the knee. Inhale, lengthen out through the spine. Slide back up. Straighten the leg. Exhale, slide down. Inhale, slide your hands up. Notice how it feels where your hands are contacting your body. Taking this time to really tune in. Getting fully present in this moment, fully into your body. Inhaling back up. And exhale over. Pause for a moment here. As you inhale, maybe you want to straighten the leg. Exhale, soften. Inhale, straighten. Taking your own breath here. One more time. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to soften. And then inhale, sliding the hands, straighten out all the way back up. And then find a comfortable position to pause. You could stay in that posture even to pause. Just notice how your body feels. Notice your hips, your legs. Notice how one is crying out, I want some attention too. Okay, here you go. Now we'll switch sides. Again, maybe start with both legs to the front so that you can make sure that your hips are facing forward. Hands on your thighs. Inhale here. Exhale, slide the hands down, soften the knee. Inhale, lengthen out through the spine, come all the way up. Exhale, slide it down, soften the knee. Inhale, lengthen to come all the way up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Last one we'll hold. Exhale over. And then from here, maybe inhale to straighten. Exhale to soften. One more breath. Inhale, slide the hands up, lengthen out the spine. And exhale, finding something comfortable to pause in. Noticing how your hips feel, your hamstrings, all juiced up, all warmed up. So nice. Now we're going to lay on our belly. And we're just going to do a little bit of extension here. Get all your props out of the way. Take your hands up underneath the shoulders. You're going to take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Toes are pointed out behind you. Tops of the feet are on the mat. Forehead is down. Feel your pubic bone pulling up towards the navel. Like you're trying to press your tailbone down towards the floor. From here, we are going to lift everything up. I call flying squirrel. So as you inhale, you're going to lift your head, lift your shoulders, have your hands come out towards the front corners of your mat, hovering off the mat, and your feet can lift. Exhale, bring everything back in. Arms come in, feet come down. If that feels like too much for you, take the feet out and just do the hands. Inhale, lift. Flying squirrel. Exhale, back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now we're going to hold on the next one. Again, listen to your body here. Inhale up. Push yourself a little bit, but also don't hurt yourself. So if you need to take your feet down, take your feet down. As you exhale, you will lower a little bit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften. Inhale, lift. And exhale all the way down. So nice. Go ahead and flip onto your back. Just from right where you're at, gently rolling over, and bring your knees up to your chest. Or just take your feet off the floor with your knees bent and your hands on your knees. You don't have to pull them all the way up in. And just kind of find some gentle rocks, knees in, knees out. If you want to do this with your breath, inhale, knees away. Exhale, knees come in. Following your own breath pattern here. Exhale, knees come in. Make your own decision and deal with the consequences. Inhale. I'm telling you, make your own decision and deal with the consequences. Exhale, bring your knees in. Inhale. My sweetest, youngest child. Even when I tell him before I start a class, he still likes to pop in. And maybe you want to rock a little bit side to side here too. Feels really nice on the low back after all those extensions. We're going to set both feet down, knees are bent. And taking the right ankle across the left knee. Taking some rocking, easing into it, and then maybe press the knee back. Keeping that top foot flexed. If you're feeling really good here and you want to go further, bring that left foot off the ground and maybe feed your hand through and clasp your hands behind your leg and draw your knee in. I like to take my right elbow into my right knee so it's being pressed away as I'm pulling my left knee in. And again, you might need to move here. We're opening up the hips, letting them breathe. We're inviting that energy that does not belong to us to leave the body from the hips all the way out through the bottom of the feet. Sometimes that takes some extra movement. Sometimes it calls for stillness, so listen to your body. Release. Placing both feet down, take a little pause. Notice how your hips feel. And then cross the left foot over the right knee. Taking a little rock and roll here, setting it up. It's so weird. I get so worried about whether the bottoms of my feet are dirty. And this way, at least you don't have to see it. Now, pressing the knee away. I hate wearing shoes. I never wear shoes. So I'm always walking around barefoot in the garage, out in the backyard, taking the dogs out, working in the garden, whatever, all around the house, which doesn't matter how much I clean. It's always dirty. All my kids, and my dogs, and everything. So anyway, bare feet are dirty feet. So there, if that was good and you want to lift up your right foot, go ahead. And using that left elbow, this is all up to you. How much do you want to stretch out your hips today? You do not have to take it this far. And just finding that gentle rock, inviting all of that you're ready to let go of to go. The what ifs. Anybody else got those what ifs crawling in their ears at night? I am over it. Done. And then placing your feet back down, taking a short pause, noticing how that feels. And then little windshield wipers, and I mean little, as in 50% down or less, because we're not going to go into any extension in the lumbar spine here. This is just another little rock. And then coming back to center, we'll straighten out the left leg, bring the right knee up, and gently bring that right knee across the body. And you can find a nice prop here to put your knee on. It doesn't have to go super far. Just a little twist. Taking that right arm out to a T. Maybe turning your head, maybe not. Just a couple breaths here. And then coming back through center. Bringing both feet down. Short pause. Switching sides. Right leg goes long, left leg up and across the body to find a prop to rest on. And stuff in the way, other props in the way maybe. Left arm out to a T. And you can look if you want to, or just keep your head straight. Just a few breaths here. And back through center. Bending both knees, feet are flat on the floor. Short pause. Bring your hands down by your hips, palms are down. Reach your fingers down towards your heels. Engage your feet. We're just going to do a few bridges here to center out. Inhale, press and lift the hips. Don't go to the full extension. Just go about 50% or a little more. Exhale, roll the spine back down. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, roll the spine back down. Let that feel like a little massage. Inhale, press and lift. Exhale, roll back down. Inhale. Exhale. And you can be going at a different rate than me. We're doing 5. This is the last one. And then you may feel like you want to bring your knees up. So do that. If you don't, you do not have to. Listen to the body. And then I want you to take your feet apart, farther than your hips, maybe shoulder distance, maybe not quite. And then let your knees fall in towards each other. It's okay if they don't touch. And you may need to take your feet farther away, bring them closer in, whatever works. Turn your palms to face up and close your eyes. Kind of a little mini Shavasana before Shavasana here. Taking a moment to notice your hips, notice your low back. Remembering that as we become willing and ready to let go of all that is not serving us, willing and ready to let go of the fear, the worry, the what ifs, we create space. And we must invite something into that space to take over. So let that be your intention for our Shavasana today. Now you can stay here if this is really comfortable, or you can move and find a position where you feel you can be relaxed for Shavasana. So if that looks like legs down, that's fine, like this. Or maybe you want to take a cushion and pull it up underneath your knees, like this. Don't elevate your head with some extent, with this kind of flexion. That's not what we're doing. We just opened up our front line. We just opened up our back line. We want to stay nice and open. If you can keep your palms turned up, that's great. If not, you can take your hands and place them over your belly. I'm going to sit up so I can speak. You stay laying down in your comfortable Shavasana position. Again, remembering that we just released and we let go. Imagining that all those things that did not serve you, that were running through your mind, have been sent down into the earth below. And now we're ready to invite in something to fill that space. Allowing your body to relax, maybe imagining yourself melting into the floor, into your mat, into the earth below you. And then using the power of your imagination, we're going to call in a bright white light coming to you from straight above you, so far out it passes over, through, and beyond the Earth's atmosphere, like a star, just for you. And that star is sending down that bright white light all the way through the Earth's atmosphere, down through the roof of the building that you're in, and right into your belly, right into your belly button, like an umbilical cord connecting you to the universe. And from there, it's going to fill your space. There will be no room left for worry or what ifs. And just witness as that white light spreads from the belly button out, all through your core, into your spine, down through your hips, up into your chest, going up into your shoulders, cascading down your arms and into your hands, flowing from your hips down your legs and into your feet, from your shoulders up through your neck and into your head. And then imagining that you can see the star from which this light comes. And at first it looks like a star all on its own out in space. But when you look a little bit closer, you can see that the rays from that star extend out from it and connect with the rays from all the other stars like a giant web, as if nothing is separate and on its own. Everything is connected. Maybe even bringing your awareness back into your body, feeling that light that fills you up, and casting out your own rays. Seeing how they connect to all those around you, near and far. And they each have their own set of rays that continue to connect, creating our own web. Acknowledging that none of us functions in solitude. Even during this time where we're meant to keep our distance from each other, we are not working alone. We are still working together. We are still one. Bring your awareness into your breath. Keeping your awareness on your breath. And as your mind begins to wander, noticing that, coming back to the breath. Now I'm going to invite you to stay. Stay here as long as you can. 10 minutes, 20 minutes. There's no need for you to get up. If you need to rest, allow yourself to roll onto your side and fall asleep. Letting all this delicious practice be absorbed into your body and into your spirit. Remembering always, I am safe, I am well, I am at ease, I am happy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself at this moment, for this practice, but also into this lifetime. Recognize that you are exactly where you are meant to be. And send some gratitude to yourself. Namaste. I'll see you next time. Bye.